Hello, my name is Tim Dwornacek.
And I'm Tom Dornicek. We're co-founders of BIDA, Bringing Israel to America. And as you'll notice, as identical twins frequently do, black and gray today. We didn't know that. We just got dressed and here we are. So today we're excited to talk about shamanism. We are interested in helping people develop different kinds of spiritual practices and meditations. And shamanism is something that I've been involved with for almost 20 years, and it's really changed my life in a lot of ways, and it's changed a lot of other people's lives.
Shamans have been around for 5,000 years. Most of us know who shamans are. We heard of medicine men. They had a lot more to do than just medicine and healing, but a lot of us are familiar with shamans and shamanism. We just don't know we're familiar with it.
And you folks are going to love this. I just read this somewhere. There was a shaman that a religion came out of. His name is called Jesus. See, before Christianity evolved, everybody that was doing the healing work like Jesus was considered the shaman of the community. So in some weird sort of way, if you were living way back 5,000 years ago, Jesus would not be considered what he is today. He'd be considered just one of the shamans in the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
So shamanism is about a technique that alters our state of consciousness. Why do we need to do that? Right now, Tim and I are sitting here in a regular state of consciousness, so we cannot penetrate what they call non-ordinary reality. We would have to do something to alter our consciousness a little bit, and one of the big things, of course, is closing the eyes out. So shamanism is a technique used to alter your consciousness for what? To get to the spiritual reality beyond the physical reality. What we know from quantum physics and that, and there's one of the top physicists in the world, Richard Lanza. I just watched something that he presented on YouTube talking about the spiritual realms. Physicists are realizing there's something else going on here beyond the physical. And when you journey, which we'll be talking about, you can get from the physical, ordinary reality to non-ordinary reality.
So this video is about introducing you or reintroducing you to the benefits of shamanic techniques. We have classes set up at our office to learn how to do journeying on your own. So this is an introduction video. So just bear with us. We have a lot of information to give you.
Yeah. But I want people to know the value of journeying. I just had a client in this morning at 11:30, came to do his first 2 journeys, and this guy's a very Christian-based man in that. It blew him away what happened in his 2 journeys, and I know a little bit about his history, so it kind of made sense to me. And lo and behold, he got to the Garden of Eden. He was so ecstatic. When he got done today, folks, he was glowing. And that's just one example. Shamanic beliefs are that everything is alive and interconnected. They call it the web of life. Quantum physicists also know we're all interconnected. Now, we can't see it. It's the house over there, Tim over here, the chair over there. But they realize we're all connected on a spiritual realm to the web of life. And we're just now in a fallen state. And Christianity has talked about that. Judaism has. Everything that is here is alive and well. Even the rocks you can talk to. Now, they're in a fallen state. They look very dead and quiet. But when things get elevated, everything's going to come to life.
And I remember many, many years ago, I was at a shamanic education seminar out in Illinois, and I forget what was going on, but Myron, who was given the lecture that day in the presentation, he had me coming home and going into my backyard, hugging a tree and doing some kind of a healing exercise. So we know trees are kind of alive, but if he would have told me to go hug a rock that's in my house, I probably would have had a little more difficulty with it, but I would have done it because they really believe that everything is alive with energy. And
yeah, that's true. So So the shamanic journey parts the veils that are here into the spiritual realm, which is right here, right now. But if you're not altering your state of consciousness, and we've got some techniques to do that, and it's not drugs, although some shamans do use ayahuasca, we're not doing any drugs with this. And you can part and get between this reality and the spiritual realm. And when that happens, like this client that came in today, he had one heck of an experience, and I think it's going to change his life.
Yeah, so this is something that if you come and learn, you can do this on your own. You don't need Tom or myself or anybody else around. If you have questions or concerns or healing that you need done, you can come in and learn how to journey and do this the rest of your life.
Yeah, and again, it's accessible to anybody. I've never found a person that could not learn the journey. The hardest part to it is trusting the journey. I trust my journeys 100%. Some of the major life changes I've made in the last 20 years, selling a house, moving to Colorado, moving out to where I'm living now, before I would make a decision, I would journey on it to get my spirit guides or power animals, what do we call it, opinion and guidance to do that. Shamanic journeying is also a meditative practice. There's a lot of talk these days about mindfulness and meditation. When you are in a shamanic journey, you are no longer here in this reality, and you're focused, you become mindful. Now, when you're new at this, the mind chatter is still there, you get distracted, you come back to the journey with your intention. So if you're interested in learning an active form of meditation, shamanic journeying could be for you. Okay, before Tim says what he's going to say, the other thing I like about it, and this is Tom the therapist, I know Tim the therapist sitting here, shamanic journeying will empower you. You can go to your spirit guides, power animals, and get your information, guidance for your life. It breaks our addiction to authority figures, and it makes you become more self-reliant on something besides just what you're going to get here in this reality.
Any time that I have done a journey from the past, I've always relied on the spirit guides, and I feel pretty comfortable doing that. That was more of a process rather than an event, because when Tom learned how to do this 20 years ago, he brought it back to the community, and I learned how to do that. It takes time, but one of the things that I'm aware of, if you do what you get in the journey, whatever assignment you get, for lack of a better word, and you'll notice that that had to happen because something else was going to happen afterwards.
Yeah, you just learn to trust it like we have. Because if you journey and your spirit guide suggests for you to do something, and then you don't do it, I've noted with people, and I've been told this, that they'll lose interest in you because they see you as not being fully committed to this system. Now, this works on the spiritual aspects of all illness. We know that physical illness is not just a physical thing, there's a spiritual component to it. So doing a shamanic journey, you can get healing in the spiritual realm. Now, who do we know that did this? A guy named Jesus. What most of us Christians were never told, and I know Tim and I were not told this, when Jesus healed anybody, he was not doing it in this 3D reality that we see and touch and smell. He went up to the spiritual realm, took the soul of the person with him, because it's too dirty down here and impure. So Jesus, again, like I said, Jesus would be considered a shaman back in the day. So shamanism you can help you work on any physical illness, mental illness, emotional illness, but it works on it from the spirit realm, because what we believe, especially in Judaism, it all starts in the spiritual and it comes down to the hard 3D reality we're living in.
Yeah, one of the things that I enjoy is journeying is a results-oriented practice. Every time you journey, you have an intention, either for yourself or for somebody else or for the world in general. You get results every time you journey. Now, it's really up to us as individuals to try to decipher what was said there. Sometimes you have to do journeys about your journey, but results occur because of that.
Yeah. Now, for instance, a result for healing may not happen overnight, but the antidote is given, to you immediately, and it's up to you to keep doing whatever it is that you got to be doing. So that's one of the reasons I like it too, is because you get results immediately, and we got this McDonald's mentality: I want it, and I want it now. In shamanic journeying, there are power animals, and there are teachers in human forms that will be your spirit guides, that will guide you in your work. And a power animal is not just like a squirrel, it's the essence of all squirrels. These become our spirit guides. My teacher, and it's okay I say this, is Babaji. Now when I first met this guy, what's Babaji? Who's Babaji? Well, Babaji lived in India over 100 years ago, and he was kind of like a guru there and doing a lot of things in India. So he was on his mountaintop, and I asked him flat out, what is your name? He said Babaji. So I looked it up and I got to know him. All major religions have spirit guides, teachers, etc., etc. In Christianity, we call them the angels. So if you look at all major religious traditions, they all have somebody that's going to be like a spirit guide or a teacher.
And speaking of power animals or power insects, true story, my wife works in a very stressful job, and my brother had just recently did a journey for her. And what he brought back after the journey was the essence of a spider. Now, you can't think about spiders, many people are afraid of them, but my wife told me something at breakfast this past Sunday. She has noticed a gentle shift in how she's handling the stress and all the phone calls, and it's actually a positive reaction that she's having since Tom's done the journey and brought her back a spider.
Yeah, she wasn't crazy about spiders when she first heard that. She said, oh, I don't like spiders. But it's not the literal spider that we saw crawling around on the floor. It's the essence of that spider and their medicine that will help you. Now, when you talk about shamanic journeying, the spirit guides communicate with us in different ways. One way is telepathy. I get a lot of that. Another way is they use symbols to communicate the answer or something you need to know. Sometimes it's witnessing a scene, like you could witness two dogs fighting, and that's part of the answer. You got to figure out what that means. The most common one is metaphors. They love metaphors. And if you think about prophecy and a lot of the prophets, they're very metaphorical when you read the Old Testament. And journeying is a individual experience. There's no incorrect journey. Whatever, like this guy today that went to the Garden of Eden, I just backed off. I did not comment on it. I was really happy for him. It fit in with his intention. So you can't screw this up. That's why I like this, because everybody's, oh, I'm going to mess this up. You can't. They're working for us, guys.
And one of the things that we've talked about in a previous video, a lot of us have dreams at night, and we wake up and we don't understand them because it's very symbolic of it very often. You can actually have a dream, and if you want a little more information, if you learn how to journey, you can journey on the dream to maybe get the correct or close to correct reason for that. I had a dream 3 nights ago about my daughter's cat, and it was kind of interesting, the dream, but it made sense to me. Well, if it didn't make sense to me what was going on in the dream, I could just do a 10-minute journey and maybe figure out exactly what the dream meant.
So if you're drawn to learning shamanic journey, it's not only for you. You can do it for other people. You can do it for community issues, maybe get a ritual, or for global issues and problems. So this is something you can use everywhere in your life to get a healing, to get some clarity, to get some answers. Now, we talked about altered states of consciousness. In shamanic land, we use drums a lot. There's also rattling, there's chanting and singing, and primarily those. The drumming, I just want to show you, it's about 720 beats per minute.
That's a lot.
So when you're doing a shamanic journey, I actually have a CD with drumming, and I recommend people buy that. The drumming, they know, slows the brain waves down from beta down to alpha and into theta. Now theta is the brain wave for all meditation. You don't want to go any lower than that because we'll be sleeping. So the drumming helps slow it down. And the guy that I taught today thought he was going to have an issue with the drumming, and that afterwards he told me this. but because he was so into his journey, he noticed the drumming, but it was like secondary to him. It did not get in the way. So, and I told him, because you were really into your journey. Now, before we go on to the big question, why do you want to learn how to journey? There's a couple of things we can offer you online if you're interested. One is a soul retrieval, and I've done over 3,000 of these since I've learned them from my teacher, Sandy Ingerman. When we're traumatized, hurt, betrayed, etc., we lose a little bit of our essence, not your soul, but your essence. And for a soul retrieval, you would give me an intention, like, I want to be more assertive in my life. So I would take your intention, and my 3 power animals that guide me with my soul retrieval, we go and find the pieces of you that you dissociated because of your problem or your trauma. I ask them questions. Why did they leave? And then what are they bringing back? What quality or essence? And so I can do these long distance. I can find you where you live and send it to you. The second one is a divination journey. If Tim's got a question in his life, something he's struggling with, he would give me his question or his intention, and I would do a journey, or vice versa. He could do it for me. And the journey I narrated into a little digital recorder, then I make a CD and we mail it to you. The same thing with the soul retrieval. So then it's up to you to learn how to interpret what they were given. We're not allowed to interpret it because the journey was for you, even though one of us maybe had done it.
Yeah, because Tom, when he came back from his training, I think it was probably Michael Harner 20 years ago, he wanted to practice on somebody, and I'm his twin, so I was the candidate. So anyway, he did some kind of a soul retrieval on me, and you know, I was very skeptical because we're identical twins. Everything that's happened in our lives were kind of similar.
I was there, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not a big deal. But then I know that Tom had done several soul retrievals from some clients I was seeing at the time. Now, he wasn't there as they were growing up. There is no way that he could know what was going on in these people's lives, and it really blew him away.
Yeah, and it blew me away because I'm skeptical. When I came back from learning this, it's like, yeah, I want to believe it, but I'm kind of from Missouri. You got to show me and prove it to me. And over the years since we've been doing this type of work, it's just amazing the synchronicities that happen with this. So those are 2 things we can offer you, that if you can't make it to Northwest Indiana and come to a shamanic journey class, and if you're interested in a soul retrieval or a divination journey, you can contact us. There's a way to pay for it online, and then we'll do it as quickly as we can, and we'll just mail you the CD.
Now, another story I just want to tell you briefly. One of our friends did a journey for us back in this past fall, because we had closed the business in Highland and we were opening up something out in Chesterton, Indiana with BIDA and with our addictions counseling program. And one of the best things that Kendra had told us after this was to keep it simple. See, Tom and I, we breathe this stuff on a regular basis. We talk about it all the time. Not everybody is as well informed as we are. Just by her getting that information kind of helped us with the videos that we've done and how we talk to people.
Yeah. Plus it was an 18-minute journey she did, and it was very thumbs up for what we're doing in that. It was just some ideas like that to bring it down to the common folk, because they're not familiar like we are. So here's why you want to learn a journey. One of the things, and especially if you have a Christian background or any Muslim background, this is a modality that is similar to what the prophets of the Old Testament used. They had a way of getting to the spirit realm, and they were also given symbols, metaphors, and that for what they would do, what we call it a journey. Now, back then they didn't. They were just getting Ruach HaKodesh, divine inspiration. I think that's what happens with journeys. So if you want to become sort of like a prophet, learn the journey. The second reason is you receive direct revelation, okay? You're going to the spirit realm. It's pure. It's not full of all this harsh stuff that we have in this reality. And you will receive direct revelation, divine revelation. Like this guy today, he went to the Garden of Eden and he was talking to God. It blew him away. And I won't bore you with the rest of it. So you're getting it from the spiritual realm, or Otherwise, we're reduced to what I affectionately call our monkey brains. You know, trying to figure stuff out. I'm so jaded, and I've been around 62 years. I'd rather just go to a pure place. Okay, should I move to Valparaiso? Is this in my best interest? And I do a journey on it, and now I'm in Valparaiso, Indiana.
Yeah, so, and we think about it, we solicited suggestions or advice from our friends, and they're prejudiced and jaded, and, you know, they've got a certain way of looking at things. Or you can go to your family, you can do a lot of different things. Why not just learn how to journey and just get that pure information without prejudice, judgment, anything like that? It's a new door that opens up for us.
And guys and gals, this is nothing new. This is the oldest known spiritual practice to man, okay? It just, you know, when Christianity came by, they kind of pushed it down, and it was all those primitive people, or what was the thing this guy said today? It's paganism and that. No, everything here in this reality comes from God, so it's a tool that God gave us to use, and it's always accessible to use, okay? So if you're having a problem tomorrow, you come home from work, let's say, you go journey on it, okay? You can call your friends and talk to their monkey brains, or you can journey, and it's also free. That's the thing we like, you know, once you learn it and invest a little time in coming to learn how to journey, now you got it for the rest of your life.
Yeah, and once again, I'm going to go back to what I said and Tom said. It takes time to trust it. It's new. It's something that most people haven't done before. But as you do it and you follow through with the suggestions and read the symbols correctly, you will be amazed at how more trustworthy you become with this new, what I'm going to call spiritual practice.
That's ancient but new.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Harner from the Shamanic Foundation in Mill Valley, California, about 45 years ago started bringing it back more. He's written some books. I highly recommend Harner's stuff. So it's an opportunity to learn a modality to get spiritual guidance from the spirit realm versus this 3D harsh reality we live in with all this just virus mentality, klipa and everything else. There's a healing component in shamanism when you journey, whether it's mental or physical. Let's say you're suffering with a back problem and the doctor can't figure it out. You can journey with an intention to get a ritual and bring back the ritual and start doing it. Or there's a journey called a dismemberment journey where you're literally taken apart, eaten, different things. Tim's had done some of this too, and then you get put back together. And the first time I did that, I had to learn how to re-drum. I was drumming, but it felt like somebody else's arm.
And remember, this is shamanic journeying is a spiritual system. It's from God, our Creator. You know, everything is about God. So it comes directly from God. Jesus knew how to do it. I'm sure John the Baptist knew how to do this. All the shamans from 5,000 years ago to the present, they got this system from their Creator or God.
Yeah, because in shamanism, when you're journeying, you wear these things called mindfolds. And think of Apostle Paul. Where did he get a lot of his visions? After he was blinded, when you take the sight out. So all major religious figures knew how to tap into the spiritual realm. So I'm going to ask you right now, what do you do to access your spiritual realms for direct revelation? What technique do you have? Now, you can say, okay, I pray, but are you getting direct revelation, or is your monkey brain fooling you with some stuff? And I'm not knocking whatever you have, but this guy that came today was a highly Christian man, and it blew him away, the feedback he got and the understanding and the interpretation from his two journeys.
And going back to what we said, you can do this anytime, it's free. So if you're looking for revelation, something for your son or daughter, something about a job switch, should I take that promotion? I mean, talking to a lot of other people, you get 16 different directions to go in. Or once you learn how to trust this spiritual practice, you can get the information within minutes.
And it's not like we become dependent on this. You know, you still have to use your own free will to choose what you want to choose. So it's not like you're turning everything over. You can do that. And I've got a friend that's doing that and, you know, going on a roller coaster in life. But it's not like you're not important. You are working with God through his power animals or his teachers, you're working in concert together to get this information of how to guide your life.
So when we had the journey done last fall by this friend of ours, it really made sense to us. We had to lower it a little bit because we actually think about this on a little bit higher level. Our BIDA program is what I'm talking about. That was very helpful information, and since we did all the male mentoring videos afterwards, we did kind of lower it a little bit so that everybody can catch on. We want people to be successful with this, not to trick them.
Yeah, so what she basically said is reach the lowest common denominator, work up from there, and that's what I think we did as best we could. In the spirit guides and journeying look different in shamanism, they're not angels and that, but understand something, they're all coming from the same root, the source, which is God. Okay, so all the tendrils that come out and keep coming out, when you go back to the beginning, there sits God, wherever God is sitting. So the other thing is, journeying can break our dependence on the physical reality for our answers. Why? Because just like Tim said, we're going to rely on 16 different people's opinions, and everybody's got an opinion, we know this, they're jaded, it's based on their life history. Even as a therapist, and I'm sure Tim can relate to this, I have opinions about relationships and that, and yeah, they tell you to be objective and all that in school when you're going to school and that, but everybody is jaded a little bit.
Yeah, good luck with that. We're all prejudiced, this is the way we should do it. So why would we want to do this? It allows us to use our right brain. We detach attachment to the logical, linear thinking that we all tend to get into, which is the left brain angle.
Yep, that linear, it goes this way. What the physicists have taught us, if you're interested, is this Lanza guy that I talked about earlier. We do not live in a linear reality. It feels like that. Time feels like it's going that way. Now what they're realizing, it's coming this way from the center out. And so there really isn't such a thing as time. Only in this reality you get it. And when you do a shamanic journey, this guy that did it today, his first journey was 22 minutes. He thought it was like 2 minutes. His second journey was 15 minutes. He felt like he was there for an hour. So you lose the context of time when you're in the spiritual realm because there is no time there.
So this is the end of our presentation. We just wanted to give you a thumbnail sketch of something that BIDA is offering at our office. Or the other thing is, if you've got a group of people that are interested in learning things about shamanism and journeying, Tom and I are willing to travel to your location to teach you this.
Yeah, especially if you're in a warm climate in our horrible winters.
Yeah.
So thanks for taking the time today. If this has piqued your interest, and if you're not able to get to our office and we're not able to travel, if you go to the Shamanic Foundation in Mill Valley, California, they have many, and I'm trained from that system. I've done many of their seminars and 2-week trainings and different things. But there are many people, you have to find where they're at, that are doing these trainings, 1-day trainings, 2-day trainings. We just think this is our way of helping people feed their spiritual self, their souls, because instead of relying just on our monkey brains.
Thank you for the time.
Yep, see you again.